So I'm going to start with a question for Emily. Emily, why would an organization decide to deploy inbound marketing, and what challenges does it solve for?
All right, cool. Well, I think the first thing that I want to say is let's think about the sales process. So there are a few things that we know about the sales process. 2/3 of that begins before the contact is even ready to speak with a salesperson. So they're collecting information and sort of beginning to become aware of the problem and framing that. The second thing is, when an organization informs the prospect through that awareness stage, the prospect's more likely to actually go with that organization when they ultimately are making a decision. So, for organizations who are dealing with COVID on top of all of their other sales needs, when they are, providing this type of content, they are really, creating a forum for meaningful interaction, and that's a pretty powerful thing. Digital lead generation kind of helps in 3 different ways. It creates awareness around your expertise. We're using landing pages and forms to collect intelligence on the audience, which ultimately turns into more fruitful sales conversations later on. And you're really helping the audience begin to address their problem very early in their decision-making process. And so the reality is, for businesses that are leveraging these tools in COVID, they're not to say that they're not impacted by COVID. We're obviously all feeling the impact there, but they have a little bit of a leg up.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the things we've seen in COVID is just how much it's affected media's consumption habits, right? So a couple of things that our team have found recently that we thought would be interesting to share is that since March, 29% of usage has gone up on social media channels, and specifically 27% on Facebook, which is really the behemoth of all social media channels, 32% up on Instagram, and 44% up on YouTube. And so what we've seen from that is, I think companies that have traditionally relied on kind of networking, sales, kind of outbound efforts are trying to figure out, how do I start to connect with consumers in a digital way, which makes sense. And I'll share with the audience an example. So we have a client of ours here at Dotted Line that sells promotional products. Again, relied on some of those traditional sales techniques, but because of COVID, it has now moved to, how do I create those connections online and in a digital way with consumers? And so much of their activity has been around, social media and blogging and PR to create that type of awareness when they can't have those face-to-face interactions.
Makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.